What do you ask yourself as a leader? You know, are you aware of the issues that you're facing? Have you accepted the effects that they're having on you? You know, what actions are you taking to solve them? You know, awareness, acceptance, and action are three concepts we're going to explore with you today, because there's no one on earth who can fully be prepared for any type of adversity or know what kind of tsunami that might wash up on their doorstep. But when you truly accept something, you undergo a transformation. Right. And to the next concept, action.
Knowing and accepting you have a problem is half the battle. But if you don't take any action to change it, nothing is going to change. You know, Jim Rohney's one of my favorite mentors, and he said, if you will change, everything will change. So before you take any action, you got to be prepared that you're going to make some mistakes, and that's okay to do so. It's going to take the pressure off of you to start moving forward. If it doesn't matter that you make mistakes and you don't have to be perfect, then you can start taking direction and action to overcome and pull your team forward and do what you need to do. I mean, prior to that night, we made our share of mistakes, right?
Prior to that night, we still make mistakes. Most people live their lives trying not to make a mistake, so they don't move forward, right? They don't know which way to go because they don't want to put the step forward and have a mistake happen, right? You can't do that, right? When they do make one, it's like their world, it comes to an end. Lisa and I were no different when we were in that situation. See, back then when I made a mistake, I would be so hard on myself because I would think I'm not tough enough, right? Allowing my emotions again to overwhelm me. It was months afterwards that I was going back to work, and I was in telecom, and I was on this conference call, and there was two guys in a different state, and they were arguing over having the incorrect paperwork. And I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm fed up. I hung the conference call up. I hung the conference call up because how they were arguing, it was like it was life or death to them. And to me, it was insignificant compared to what her and I were dealing with at the time. So my next call was to Lisa in the middle of the day. And I remember I said, honey, she goes, yeah, you okay? I go, yeah, I'm good. I said, honey, I can't do this anymore. She goes, what? I go, I can't do this anymore. So I'll be home later. And I hung the phone up in the middle of the day, and she was working. I went in and I put my notice in. I had no other job to go to. Can you imagine her face getting that call? Like, what is going on? That was a mistake, folks. That was a mistake.
It was a tough lesson, but we got through it. And one thing that we developed over time is that we just weren't concerned about what other people thought about us. You know, you as a leader have to let go of what other people think about you. Mm-hmm. Even though you are the main character in your own lives, it's unlikely that you are the main character in other people's lives.
What?
The reality is that they have their own busy lives. They're thinking about their family, their work, their job. I bet some of you are planning what you're going to say in that meeting right now. Mm-hmm. Or you're wondering, I wonder if my company is going to be able to provide a Christmas bonus this year. Yep. You know, it leaves little time, if any, for us or other people to focus on us or for us to focus on other people. So remember this, what other people think of you, it is none of your business.
Okay. Our minds are the most amazing things. Sometimes a little ADD, but they move pretty fast, right? They can produce positive and negative thoughts. And you may not be aware, but your thoughts create emotions. And emotions creates the actions that you take. See, your emotion is like an elevator, right? Positive thoughts will move your emotional elevator up, and negative thoughts will take your emotional elevator down. But here's the gem. You can choose what emotional floor your elevator goes to. That's right. Most people just want to feel good. They don't want to feel bad. They want to avoid. They just want to feel good and avoid anything that's bad, right? But that's not reality. It's like wanting all the daylight without the night. So it's no wonder why you look around and many people are, why do I try anyhow?
That's right.
You know, but you have to break free from all that, right? And here's how to counter the negative effects that surround you daily.
You got to watch what it is you're feeding your mind. What books are you reading? What do you watch on TV? Are you learning and stretching and growing your mind?
Yep.
You know, you can listen to podcasts or audiobooks, or you could read stories or articles on people that interest you. You can take courses and go to trainings. That's very important. You know, as leaders, we're always attending trainings.
Right.
It helps you get that dose of enthusiasm that you need every week. You know, watch documentaries or biographies instead of that great action movie. Something that's going to teach you something.
You gotta watch your mouth on that.
He's an action movie guy. We do watch biographies together, though. So before this traumatic event, though, in our lives, I had to work on my self-esteem a lot. But that night and the effects of it, they were pretty dark. And so I had to counter it by feeding my mind every positive bit of information that I could. You know, my car, it became my school. And everywhere I drove, I was learning from the world's greatest minds. I had to learn to meditate and quiet my mind and say positive affirmations. Things like, hey, you can do this. You're going to get through it. It's going to be worth it. You can do anything for one more minute. You can lead that team. You know, by elevating your positive self-talk, what it is that you're reading, what it is you're feeding your mind, the conversations that you're having with people, you're going to develop the discipline that you need to move your mind into a more positive state.
Pay attention to who is influencing you, who you're spending your time with. Are they complaining? Are they negative? Are they the people who will step on your dreams?
Oh.
If you are the average of the 5 people you're hanging around, what does the circle influence look like? You know, start to seek out people who will lift you up, right? Again, like Lisa said, if you don't have anyone around when you take stock and inventory, then go look for it, seek it out. Jim Rohn is one of the most fantastic. When I found him in 1996, no one was speaking to me the way I listened to him on his tapes. I didn't have that kind of influence in my life, right? It was like somebody opened up the heavens and gave me this whole different thought process, right? Seek those people out, people who encourage you, inspire you. They'll change you. Once I physically recovered from that night, I looked around and I was surrounded by people who would tell me, you should be okay with just being alive, Mike. You should be happy with the ability just to work. Wow. Just to work. Michael, you should be content with where you're at because of how far you and Lisa have come. We only will make it back to average, right? Ability to wake up and go to work and take care of our boy. But they didn't understand our need to improve and grow, right? This new energy and drive to not allow that one night to continually hurt us. So instead, we placed ourselves around leaders. We saw leaders who were the best in us, and they inspired us to follow our dreams. And now we work on lifting other people up and encouraging them.
You got to work on your discipline and your habits. So this centers in your mind. So let's talk very quickly about your mind. Your conscious mind, it's where you think, where you reason, where your awareness comes from, and it processes information at about 2,000 bits per second. Now, your subconscious mind, it processes information at 4 billion bits per second. That is a huge difference. This is where your emotions, your beliefs, your values stem from. We come from our subconscious and live from our subconscious the majority of the time. In fact, it's often just running on autopilot. So your conscious mind learns through information. You're here listening to us. You are gathering information. You're telling your conscious mind what it is you want to learn and know. But your subconscious mind, it learns through repetition and practice.
Your subconscious mind never shuts off. Where we go to sleep, consciously, what we're doing today, we're conscious, but the last thing that we input in our mind or we're worried about, our mind, our subconscious is constantly working on it. Right? There's studies that show if you work on a problem enough in the evening, you're working on it, you go to sleep, some people wake up with the answer. So how many times has anyone ever said that I feel like tackling something very difficult that will take a lot of effort and require me to be persistent to get it done? How many people said that? No one ever, right? So I know for me, habits didn't come naturally. It took intentional action over a period of time to make it a habit. See, William Durant said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Discipline takes repetition and practice, and it's a learned behavior. Guess what? We can all learn it. Make a commitment to begin. Work to stay focused. Prioritize your tasks. Freaking get some sleep. Stop watching mindless hours of whatever, right? Eat for energy, not to put yourself in a coma." That's what I used to do. Do little things you know you should do daily. Little things. Make your bed. This is from Lisa. Clean the dishes. Clean up your environment, right? Organize queen right there, right? Follow through. Many people begin by laying out the foundations, right? I have a foundation, I have an idea, only to abandon them when the next shiny thing gets their interest and they lose focus.
You got to start small. So if your goal is to write a book, so start writing 20 minutes a day, maybe a chapter a day if you can do that. If your goal is to get physically fit, maybe exercise, then start by walking 20 or 30 minutes in the morning. If you're facing something that's really scary, and as leaders, many of us have had to do this, stand up in front of a group of people, give a presentation, anything like that, have to speak in a meeting.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to practice it. Practice it again and again and again. Ask some of your peers to come and sit down and listen to what it is you're saying. Ask them for their feedback and then listen to what it is they're telling you. Whatever it is that you're afraid of facing, just do it a little bit at a time. Because once you often are in motion, you're going to want to keep going. So when I looked at the enormity of this, what happened to us that night after the burglary, it was like facing the need to climb this summit of a mountain to reclaim our life. Mm-hmm. But I had to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I started by creating a routine, a small amount of everything I needed to do every day. I had to go see my husband in the hospital. I had to spend time playing with our son, talking and working with the police to find out who did this, taking a shower every day and eating a healthy meal, managing the endless piles of bills. He couldn't smell me. He was in the hospital. He was worried about himself, but I had to manage this pile of bills that were coming in that, we weren't working. So those bills still come and you're still expected to pay them. Right. But once I started that, it became easier and easier. We have all heard the saying, inch by inch, it's a cinch, but yard by yard, life is hard. So start small. Take that one step.
I'm going to share something with y'all. That's the Texas Dross. Y'all, I'm very sensitive, right? And it often gets me in a lot of trouble. All right, are you ready? Yeah. Okay. I confess, I have a weight problem. I have a weight problem. And then people go, wait. No, start being really nice. No, you're okay. That's not it. I cannot wait to get something done. That's my weight problem. I can't wait, right? It can happen yesterday, right?
True.
Isn't it true?
That's very true.
Okay, anything you plan on doing it now. Don't wait. It never seems to be the right time to begin. So just begin. We'll all put off tomorrow that which can be done today. Yep. Haven't we?
Yeah.
Maybe every detail has to be perfectly thought out before you get started. Rubbish. Throw it out. Start. I used to say anything worth doing is worth doing lousy at the beginning, right? Start fixing that wobble wheel as you go down the road, right? But go down the road. Maybe the feel of failure is too strong to begin, right? Maybe you don't believe in yourself enough to begin, right? If you want to reach 90 miles an hour, you must put your foot on the gas now.
That's right.
Right? Start by focusing on how to instead of how not to. Take the leap and tell yourself you simply don't have a choice. Do you really have to wait? I mean, like Lisa said, do you really have to wait before your foot is being told that you have to get it amputated before you take care of that diabetes? No. Do you have to wait until until your business is in financial ruins to realize you probably need a CFO, right? No, get it done. Does your relationship have to crumble before you seek help? Whatever your action is, make it a priority. Do it now. Get it done. For me, back then, I had to re-engage in life. There was so much confusion and fear for me that the priority for me was to just stay in the day, right? And not to drift backwards, right? Into depression, into what is, what I couldn't, why was this? Why is just a big circle. Why did something happen? There's never really reason, why? I was in a victim's mentality, right? I would make excuses why I couldn't move forward. Oh, my leg hurt, or, I can't. And I was making all these excuses. As soon as I was able to, and it would allow me, I was back at work, right?
Yep.
I almost killed myself with these crutches, almost slipping and cracking my head, but I was going to work, right? I had a friend take me to a parking lot, and an empty parking lot, and because I couldn't feel my right leg, it was dead for 6 weeks. I had to learn to drive again. And so I drive with 2 feet. So if you ever see me coming, you got a 2 feet driver around you, right? And so, but I had to learn. We started a business to get us out and get us out of the house and around people and to socialize. It was the best decision of our lives back then. We took action as soon as we were able to, and we still practice that today.
By working on developing your discipline and habits, you're going to begin to have faith in yourself. You see, faith is complete trust. It's trust that you are able to do it. It's trust that you can get through it. It's trust that you can get through anything you put your mind to. Trust that you're enough and that the people that you need are coming into your life.
Yep.
See, you gain faith by taking those small steps that we were talking about earlier. The magic happens in the small successes over an extended period of time.
Yep.
So you begin to trust yourself more every day until one day you look back and you see all the personal growth that you've had.
And the other side of faith is belief, right? Believing in yourself doesn't mean doubt and fear doesn't exist, right? Believing in yourself means when doubt and fear exist, you decide anyway to proceed. Right? Believing allows you to begin to accept yourself for who you are becoming. You begin to move through being afraid of the world and start to feel confident that you can handle the world exactly as it is, not as you wish it to be, not as you hope it would change. You deal with it as reality, right? Leaders believe they can handle any situation they are walking into, right? How many of you can admit to failing at something? Right? John Maxwell's book, Failing Forward, was huge for me. It broke the concept of what failing really means to me, right? I learned more in failing than I went to any college. You don't learn that stuff in school, right? Because you're not alone, right? You're in good company. Most of the leaders and the top people anywhere failed a lot, right? What is the difference between a person who curls up in the fetal position and the ones who get up, brush themselves off, right, and start moving forward after failing? It's called choice, right? That's how belief is developed, through choice. We all have access to the power to choose how we are going to respond to any situation, to choose how we will show up the next day after making a mistake, right? Yeah. Choose to move through adversity you're facing, right? So leaders remind themselves that failing is normal. Failure is not permanent and only becomes permanent if you quit trying. Don't let fear stop you. Fear is an acronym I learned a long time ago. Fear is false expectations appearing real, right? Hadn't happened yet. Stops lots of people. Your feelings sometimes are not facts. It's okay to feel doubt and fear, but do the action anyway. Your goals are no longer a finish line, but it's a benchmark. Always strive to move forward and achieve your next accomplishment. Do you believe that things will miraculously just work out on their own? or just eventually just get turned around by doing nothing? Or do you believe you can make it happen? You have to grow into that belief, right? That I can make it happen, right? We all heard success defined as a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Leaders do that day in, day out, day in, day out, right? I know each and every one of you have the ability to take action. Life can be short, 4 minutes short almost for us. Yeah. Now is the time.
See, and finally, you have to celebrate and your achievements and just simply have some fun. You know, if you're truly honest with yourselves, especially as leaders, you know, some of the tasks that we face, they're just flat out boring. But if you simply change your perspective about the task at hand, it's going to help you lighten it up and make it easier to take some kind of action. You know, sometimes life can get really serious, and you have to remind yourself that it's okay to have fun. It's okay for your team to have fun. Believe me, they will appreciate it. You know, here are some of the things that we did to help us master the mundane.
Making fun a priority. If your life is like mine, it's overflowing with chores, tasks, deadlines, appointments, and this thing called work. So as a leader, when you find that thing, it's that thing that gets you up in the morning. It's like it's hard to go to sleep, and it just shoots you out of bed in the morning, right? And that's the thing you want to shoot for. Take 15 minutes and do something you enjoy that brings a smile to your face. You know, take a walk at lunch, meditate, play with your dog, you know, have a piece of chocolate you have been looking forward to all day. That's what I'm going to do. Then exercise. So that's how I rationalize that one, right? Keep dreaming. Always dream. Listen to me here. We found out by going through that one day, and we all of us, one day, are not going to be able to do the things we want to do. Right. We're all going to find ourselves, hopefully in our 80s and 90s, right? Not be able to do the things we want to do. We have our opportunity now to make that happen. So we can look back at it and go, look what we've done, instead of look what I should have done.
Whatever it is that you want, go get it.